At the twilight of non-district play, the Del Valle Conquistadores get set to take on a 6A foe all too synonymous with the 915. That team... Welcome to 600 ESPN El Paso's Fast Break Friday. Galindo, I'm Sebastian Perez-Navarro. The Eastlake Falcons come in with a nearly perfect record of 10-2. Meanwhile, the Conquistadores just slipping above 500 at 9-7. A huge statement game for Del Valle going into district play. How much does this win mean tonight for the Big Bad Blue?
Yeah, you know, the Big Bad Blue, they've had a rough start to the season. You know, under Coach Churchill, they've been very, very consistent. They're always a contender out of their district. And a win against Eastlake could really, really give them some momentum going into district play. And they're really mad.
Eastlake wins the tip. Oscar Ornelas gets first touch, playing around the wing. Del Valle comes in pressing early. Christian Anderson Edmond, the sophomore, has been a star. 172 points, commanding the top of the key. Pass out to the wing. Nice screen inside. The pass, the layup, no good, but the foul.
Yeah, good ball movement. You know, that's what you need to do. Get in the groove of things, run your set really early, and get to the basket, because that's the key to winning games like this.
It'll be Oscar Ornelas this year from free throws. He's made 83% of them. He's gone 5 for 6. That's his 6th made free throw of the year. Can't bank in the second. Del Valle, their first possession, driving inside, can't get it off the baseline. Tried to fit it in was Jaden Nunez, but blocked out by the Eastlake Falcons.
Yeah, good interior defense right there from Eastlake. And, you know, you're going to credit the block, but all around, that was really, really good. Good rotations, good switches. Everything looked nice for the Falcons on that defensive position.
Eastlake has been good when it comes to blocks. 35 total this season. They're 23 above the national average. And again, issues persist at the paint for Del Valle.
Eastlake is bigger. You know, there's no doubt about that one. Del Valle is going to need to be physical on the defensive end. And then offensively, they're going to need to have a really, really good shooting game.
Up to the line is Braden Quigley, the junior small forward, guard, and forward. He's made 70 points this season, 52% from the line, banking in 14 of those shots. His first one, nothing but net. You pre-mentioned it, that being Eastlake, being a big, tough team, a large part why they've been able to draw so many fouls. Is that the key to beating a gritty Conquistador unit?
Yeah, you need to be aggressive. You need to take their physicality out of the game early, and by doing that, you're able to get into the paint, do a lot of things better.
The three attempted off the backboard and no good by Trey Churchill, the sophomore. Rebounded by Eastlake, driving inside. Top of the key, goes back out, off the wing, in and out, no good. Churchill with the rebound. The missed shot by Anderson Edmond. Bringing him back, passing out near corner. Going to the top. Deep three, no good. Brian May, the senior stud, has made 162 points from three-point percentage. He's made 21% of those. His 44th attempt, but can't get his 10th make.
Yeah, May, one of the best players in all of District 5A, and unable to knock that one down, but good hustle from Churchill to get Del Valle another possession.
May gets it to Nunez. Nunez back out to Josiah Nunez. The Nunez connection lofts it up for Churchill, who's awaiting in the corner. Just like that, the whistle blows against the Falcons. Del Valle trying to establish some sort of groove. The Falcons have essentially built a wall. Here's the three. It's good from Kobe Signs. Ironic, isn't it?
Ironic, yes. I mean, that was a shot Kobe would take. He is about 3-4 feet away from the three-point line. He's fading away. I'm thinking in my head, that's a bad shot, but no bad shot is a bad shot if it's good, right?
Twists and turns caused the whistle to blow on the Falcons. And at the blink of an eye, almost 3 minutes have been juiced off of this first quarter clock. Del Valle able to get the three, yet Eastlake has dominated ball possession so far.
Yeah, they have. You know, Eastlake being what we expect, right? The 6A team, they're going to be a little bit more physical, more aggressive, stuff like that. Del Valle is just going to need to find ways to put together stops, and on the other end, put together scores. And it'll be a game of runs for the Conquistadores if they want to win this.
Derek Mendez loses the ball, able to get back on it. The 6'1 shooting guard, able to keep possession for his team. They toss it out to Tristan Anderson Edmond, trying to drive inside. Finds the open lane, good for the layup.
Anderson Edmond, that was just a really, really smooth play. He looked calm, collected, right there at the free throw line. That's what you want to see out of a guy he's only a sophomore, right? He has so much to learn and grow from.
Nunez to Nunez, unsuccessful. Instead, the ball goes into the hands of Oscar Ornelas, spoiling the Nunez party.
Yeah, the Nunez brothers, you know, football guys, and it's nice to see them on the basketball court.
Tristan Anderson Edmond loses it. Up for the putback shot, however, no good on part of Brandon Quigley. The ball and the travel called.
Yeah, that was a clear travel there, and it's nice to see this coaching matchup. Coach Taylor, Coach Churchill, two fiery coaches on the sidelines. I don't know if you hear their voices from here because I can, and you could tell they want to win. They have a deep passion for the game, and that's something that you love to see in high school basketball.
High school basketball is really, first of all, it's a beautiful game. Second of all, in a way, those dual threat athletes use it to boost their pedigree, their recruits. And I say that most notably because a man of the name of Manny Fuller, which was the talk of the town in football, is stressed tonight playing his second ever basketball game for Del Valle, period. Not just on a freshman level, a JV level, second ever game as he walks to the bench.
Yeah, second ever game, and he's an athlete, right? A lot of athletes, they can do a lot, and it's rare to see a guy who's already signed his letter of intent to Utah play some hoops.
Tosses it, the move by the Nunez siblings ends up in a layup. Del Valle is successful in tying it.
Really good set coming out, you know, for Del Valle, but
Tristan Edmond able to dish it all the way to Ornelas. Eastlake gets the lead at the blink of an eye.
You can't give up jimmies like that if you're Del Valle, right? You're already the underdog in this one. You can't let Eastlake have free wins. You got to make them work.
Signs down to May, kicks it out to Nunez. Nunez walking inside, tried to get it off of his head. His brother fighting for the rebound. It'll be called in favor of the Del Valle Conquistadores.
Yeah, you know, Josiah right there, the Nunez brother, really, really physical, right? He's a little bit outmatched when it comes to size, but he's a physical guy, and you're seeing that in the paint.
May with it. If there's anyone Eastlake needs to take a look out for, it is the senior. 3 double-doubles so far in 17 games. He's number 15 in Region 1, number 1 in his district. Kobe Signs, second straight three.
Wow, what a shot there. And Del Valle needs that. They need guys like Kobe to come up big in a game like this.
Back come the Falcons. Quigley leading the charge. Off the backboard, no good. Gets a tip. Rebounded by May for the defensive rebound for the Conquistadores. 226 total for this team. May has 41 of those, make it 42. Kick it out to Kobe Signs. Signs back to Nunez. Nunez driving inside. There's the whistle and the foul.
Yeah, Eastlake's letting Del Valle get into the lane way too easily. And Del Valle's doing a great job of drawing fouls from that, right? If they can continue to keep this up, keep being physical in the paint with Eastlake, match them toe-to-toe when it comes to athleticism, they're going to have a real shot to pull off this upset.
Manny Fuller comes back in the game. Both Josiah Nunez and Jaden Nunez stayed. Both of the brothers have been prominent so far. However, they've only played 4 games this season. It shows in their points, which for Josiah has been 28. For Jaden, 37 only. But when you look at the averages, it's been Josiah with 28 as he gets the layup in and extends the lead. And Jaden with 37, averaging 9.3 per game. These guys are a sibling threat, and they're something that defenses need to look out for.
Yeah, Josiah is a smooth player. I mean, you saw that move in the post. To make that as a guy who's classified as a forward, it just makes him so versatile, so tough to guard, and a really good bucket there.
Eastlake going slow. The 3, no good from Derek Mendez. He's made 28% of those. Can't back in his 70th shot of the season.
Gotta hit shots like those. Gotta hit shots like those.
May at the top, pass to Nunez. Nunez looking around for somebody, anybody on the wing. It's a strong pass inside, and the foul on Trey Churchill.
Yeah, Churchill, he's a little undersized, right? He's not as big as everybody else on the court, but for him to have the confidence to get that ball and go up in the land of giants, that's what it looked like, to be that physical. I keep using that word, but that's what you need to be when you want to be a team like Eastlake.
Trey's made 50% of his free throws so far. Misses his 21st. If you want to think that the announcer's curse is real, we can't blame you.
A little too much on that one, sir.
Churchill for his second. Up and good, nothing but net. A surprise to some, an early lead taken by the Del Valle Conquistadores. But the key marker here is that Del Valle has not lost at home throughout this entire season. Meanwhile, Eastlake has been the literal definition of 50-50, winning one away against Burgess, but losing to, and Zay Galindo's favorite, Chapin Huskies away on the road.
Yeah, you know, Eastlake wins that Chapin game on fire. They just beat Friendship, you know, an out-of-town team in the Panhandle, and just couldn't get done.
Moving inside, off the rim, no good. Jaden Nunez takes control. Del Valle playing with some space. Fuller trying to move inside the paint. A nice screen set up by the brothers, but the shot can't go in. Eastlake comes back with it. A little over 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Pump fake, looks, gets the nearly impossible shot to go.
Wow. I mean, what a smooth play there by Delgado, and he took it himself. He had the crossover and the finish. You need that type of fast break play. Outrun Del Valle. You can do that if you're Eastlake.
Delgado, before coming into tonight, has 45 points, averaging 3.8 per game. Pass to Fuller. Whistle blows while he was at the top. It'll go back to Eastlake with 33 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, a little too excited for him. You said he's only played about a game in his whole basketball career of organized high school basketball. And you can tell there, he was a little too happy feet with that one.
Eastlake has some time to tie it up before heading to the second. But Del Valle brings double coverage, trying to space it out. What else but to get it to Tristan Anderson Edmond, the 6'2" sophomore, trying to battle his way onto the inside. Finds an open man who gets the pull-up shot, but it's no good. Del Valle with the rebound. Corner for 3, it's blocked and no good. Andres May can't get it in. With 6.5 seconds. Fuller will inbound, looking around, gets it out to May. May, the moves, trying to move inside. Big, tough Eastlake defense doesn't work. Steals the ball. Here's the shot, no good. 11-9, Del Valle High School leads at the end of the first quarter. You're watching 600 ESPN El Paso's Fast Break Friday. We welcome you back to 600 ESPN El Paso's Fast Break Friday. And Zay, tonight, our program's name has been living up to the title we gave it. Such a fast-paced game as we've seen, even if the score doesn't exactly indicate it.
Yeah, that was a really quick first quarter. Not a lot of stoppages, and Del Valle, they've been gritty. They got to live by being gritty, to pull off this type of upset. But they look comfortable at home. They've gotten Eastlake out of system defensively. If they can keep doing what they did in the first quarter, add a couple of buckets, they'll have a real shot to win this game.
Driving inside, the near impossible shot, no good, goes over the head of a ton of conquistadores waiting inside of the paint. But the tough play by Jacob Delgado results in a foul against the Del Valle Conquistadores.
Yeah, I think that looked like a travel, and regardless of the travel, there was one Del Valle, one white jersey in the mix for that ball. He somehow ended up with it. Eastlake needs to have a little bit more hustle right there.
Moving around the perimeter. Eastlake staying calm. Tristan Anderson Edmond moving inside. He's fouled on his way up to the basket. Will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Zay, non-district games get a really bad rep depending on what your schedule looks like. For most El Paso teams, they want to play out-of-town competition to prepare for the playoffs. But for this matchup, the last time in which Eastlake faced Del Valle was in January of 2019. And the last time they faced him in this arena was in December 20th of 2019. That game ended with an Eastlake victory 60-48. As a matter of fact, the last matchup on January 31st of 2020 ended in another Eastlake victory 60-40. It's been 4 long years that the Conquistadores have been waiting to get some sort of vengeance against the Falcons.
Yeah, Del Valle, they're a good program. A couple years ago they were atop the El Paso basketball world, and a good bucket right there for Del Valle, but they're a good program under Coach Churchill, and they have a shot to pull off this upset. They're playing really inspired, gritty basketball, and that is the recipe to an upset.
When you're a 5A program, even if you're facing an in-city team, having to beat someone who has the title of 6A has to feel good no matter what.
Yeah, it does. To get a 6A team to come into this environment, to come to Del Valle and play, that's nice. That's nice to see.
Derek Mendez can't get the shot. It is rebounded by Nunez. Brian May comes back with it and taking his time at that with 6 minutes 30 in the second quarter.
Eastlake just looks too unaggressive. They're too passive. They need to get to the rim.
Kicks it out. Kobe Signs tries his 3rd consecutive 3, but the hot hand cools a little bit.
Just a little, but you just want to see the Falcons get more aggressive, get to the rim. You saw Delgado earlier. He got to the rim, was able to make that tough finish. You need guys like that to take charge, stop settling for these, low percentage jumpers.
Kobe Signs is Del Valle's 2nd best shooter from 3. He's made 32% of his shots before coming into tonight. Officially now has made 23 pointers on the season.
Look at that interception almost by Manny Fuller. That's why he's going to Utah. He read that pass from a mile away at closing speed. Football skills transfer over to the basketball court.
Manny Fuller only played 1 game this season. That game was really a result in which Del Valle would love to erase from their record a 64-28 loss against VR Eden. To be fair, it was in a tournament which by themselves are just rough. You end up playing 3-4 games in 1 day. The shot made, but a traveling called against the Eastlake Falcons. Jacob Delgado's points won't count.
Yeah, I don't agree with that travel. I don't agree with that travel at all. You'll have different refs call games different ways. I think that's a step through at its finest. He lifted both feet at the same time. He's in the air. That's just not travel in my opinion. But, regardless of that, if you look earlier in the possession, Mendez had an open lane. He decided to pump fake the 3, ends up having to pass it out. It's a turnover. Take that open lane and get to the rim.
May trying to beat Anderson Edmond. The screen set up by Nunez, can't help him out. Double team, but leaves Nunez wide open. Top of the key, the three is good! Andrew Serrano gets the three, first points of the game. Coming into tonight, he was at 100, make it 103 for the senior shooting guard. Del Valle with a steal, double teamed at the line. Just like that, we call a timeout. 16-10 Del Valle over Eastlake.
I mean, you go back to that last play, Eastlake blitzes the screen, right? They go and double in the corner. I like to call it blitzing in basketball. You blitz the ball screen and you double the ball handler. The risk you take with that is you leave a guy wide open. Eastlake was not fast enough to switch and transition onto their man. They left the wide open Del Valle player. I mean, nobody around him. Nobody putting a hand up, nothing. Eastlake looks uninspired, and Del Valle is taking advantage of that.
Del Valle has played double coverage early on. As a matter of fact, it seems as though Will Churchill has been using that throughout the program. JV was doing the same thing in the game before tonight. But the thing with Del Valle in which you can argue is that their double coverage is set for preventative measures in order to make sure someone's covered, at least with their speed. Because as you mentioned, Eastlake's just leaving people wide open.
Yeah, you just need to switch faster. When you're going to blitz the ball screen like that, you need to be, faster in getting to your man. You're going to leave somebody open. It's just a matter of how fast you can get to that open guy.
May driving inside, kicks it out to Nunez. Nice jumper from the elbow, but it cannot get in. Here come the Falcons, and Anderson Edmond kicks it out for three off the rim. No good, just rolls out. Rebound made by Quigley. Quigley passes it back out to Mendez, who gets it to the top of the key to Maxime Lattis, the junior 5'7" shooting guard. Moving it around the perimeter in the hands of the dangerous Anderson Edmond. Loses it in the middle of the paint, and down goes Nunez.
I mean, Eastlake, they keep being unaggressive, get to the rim. I mean, I feel like a broken record at this point. They just keep passing it out. They settle for a three about 4 feet away from the line. They're just not getting to the rim. There's no aggressiveness in this Falcon team, and that's evident. You turn a turnover, sadly, for Del Valle, right, it's a travel, but they just need to be more aggressive, get to the rack. They have the athleticism to do it. They have the playmakers to do it, but they're settling for deep threes.
It seemed as though Josiah Nunez rolled his ankle, stayed on the court for a little bit, but Manny Fuller comes in to replace him. It'd be surprising to see Josiah Nunez come back on the court tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a big loss for the Conquistadores. It's time for Manny Fuller to shine, though, right?
Kicks it out. Hey, Zay, do you have a fortune-telling marble ball or whatever it's called? Because Manny Fuller just got a rebound.
Look at that athleticism. He just got up there. He was jumping.
Nunez kicks it out. Kobe Signs off the rim. No good. Rebound made by Oscar Ornelas. Kicks it out to Lattis. Lattis finds Anderson Edmond. He's been their guy to put a little bit of a pause in momentum or to reform the offense. Nonetheless, Edmond has it back in his possession. Moving to the top of the key, a matchup to look out for because Manny Fuller has been placed on the star sophomore. And then moving inside, pumps once. The shot is no good. Rebounded. Step back jumper is good for Eastlake.
You see that? Get to the rim, right? You missed the layup, right? But you have a guy waiting right there for the offensive rebound and the putback. Eastlake, that's the recipe to success. Threes will start to fall sometime. You know what don't? The layup.
Kobe Signs takes his shot from the elbow, and it's good, extending the Del Valle lead.
Yeah, this is a Signs game. This is the Kobe Signs game.
Driving inside, that shot no good. Rebounded by Nunez on the fast break, looking for room, for space, and goes to the ground. Hard foul. Jaden Nunez will go up for 2 shots, driving against Derek Mendez. Nunez so far from free throw range has made 100% of those shots, 2 for 2. But the question is, from taking the hard hit down to the hardwood, is there a little bit of pain in that rib section?
Yeah, you set up to take the charge, and those are bang-bang plays, right? The block charge call, always going to be bang-bang. Goes Del Valle's way that time, and you're sacrificing your body for that. And taking a charge, I'll say, it's one of the hardest things to do in basketball. You're bracing, you're standing there, allowing somebody to put their full force right into you, and you don't even know if that call will go your way. Gotta love the guts there.
3 minutes, 8 seconds remaining as Nunez takes his final free throw, and he remains perfect from the line. A strong performance by Del Valle as halftime nears. They're coming off a very disappointing loss against Eastwood, losing by 36 away.
They're playing inspired.
Eastlake with perimeter offense, heaves it up. Quigley gets it, loses it inside of the paint. The nice ball control by Churchill. His shoe flies off of his foot.
That's the gritty stuff you like to see. That's the hustle. I sound like an old guy coaching basketball. Del Valle is hustling, Eastlake tonight. That's what it feels like. They're out hustling the 6-8 team, and it's led to an 8-point lead.
You want to talk about hustling, Zay? Josiah Nunez has just re-entered the game after what seemed to be a little bit of a rolled ankle, or at the very least, just a lot of pain in that very area. He's back tonight with his brother. This Del Valle team really just wants to bring a message to their city.
Yeah, they really do, right? They were here. We had a little bit of a rough start, but this is a statement win, right? To beat a 6-8 team like Eastlake, they're going to battle for a playoff spot.
Top of the key, Kobe signs off the rim, no good. 2 minutes, under 20 seconds to go. Eastlake on the fast break, trying to get some points before the end of the half, but the pass towards Derek Mendez goes out of bounds. The bounce pass is really just not working. Something's getting lost in translation.
Yeah, something is. Something's just not clicking for Eastlake right now. Can't put my hand on it, but I'll tell you this, right? They're going to need to get something going fast, because if this goes into the second half with a Del Valle lead by 8, the Conquistadores are going to believe they can win, and once you have belief in your team like that and momentum, it's hard to win on the road.
Edmund has something to say about that. Passes around the perimeter to Mendez. Mendez kicks it back out to Delgado. Delgado trying to work around May. It works. The layup off the glass is no good. Rebound, Fuller fighting for that ball.
I mean, if you look back at that, no movement. Nobody's moving for Eastlake to get an open layup out of it. Might have been designed, and he misses the layup. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is the perfect recipe for a Del Valle win. Eastlake's going to need to make some adjustments at halftime.
Those pick and rolls should basically be automatic points. When you start failing on that aspect, then if you're Coach Matthew Taylor, you need to start maybe resetting your system, or just a stern talk in the locker room.
A mix of both, right? You don't need to completely reset what you've learned all year. It's worked before. You just need little adjustments to it. Inspire your team up. Put a little fire in them. They're playing tired. They're playing sad. They're going to need a bit of a change.
Kobe signs with it. Tosses it back out to Nunez, who's on the wing, but he's working against the 6'5" Quigley. Signs. Met with a harsh physical repercussion. Talk about physical. Fuller's going for the dunk. Can't get it, but the foul.
A really good play. They give Manny Fuller the baseline. He's got some handles, right? You got to respect that. He gets to the rim really easy. Good blow by. That's the athleticism. That's that D1 Utah football commit athleticism you like to see out of a guy like Manny Fuller.
The D1 football commit is on a goal to make one game look like an entire season's worth of stats. 7 points in his game against VR Eden, only 2 rebounds. Those were both on the offensive. He's been prominent on both sides of the ball tonight. Before the matchup against the Eastlake Falcons, Fuller only made one of his 2 free throws attempted in tournament play. Once again, repeats the same 50% average tonight on the hardwood. The Eastlake Falcons now down by 9 against the 5A Del Valle Conquistadores.
Hey, you mentioned the word gritty. To describe Del Valle. That's how they're playing. They're gritty tonight. They're hustling for every ball. If this can last, right, if they can get some momentum, some more momentum on their side, Eastlake is continuing to dig themselves a hole that they might not be able to get out of.
Quigley sets the screen. Mendez with the top of the key. May comes back. Double team by May and Nunez for just a slight second. Looking for options inside to the 6'5" Quigley. Wants to be a giant, but the way in which Eastlake has been performing tonight categorizes him as the big friendly giant. Edmond, hard times when it comes to the dribbles, and a missed shot by Mendez. Eastlake back on it.
He's been too quiet tonight, Mendez. He needs to be more aggressive with the ball. Put the ball in Mendez's hand and let him go to work, right? Stop settling for these threes 5 feet behind the line.
Admin with the dribbles, gets it to Quigley. Nunez playing him with everything he has, kicks it back out for 3. It's no good. Off the backboard, Del Valle's ball.
I mean, Eastlake took off almost a minute of playing time. It ain't a single point. At some point, like, these 3-pointers are not falling for the Falcons. You gotta switch it up. They're bound to fall eventually, but you're down 9. You're going into half against a 5A team. They're gonna come out fiery. Gotta give props to that Del Valle defense, though. They were all over the court on that one.
17 seconds remain, and we're going to go into the locker room with a shocker of a score as May drives inside, kicks it back out, signs with it, driving inside the paint, can't get it. Rebound, Falcons, and Mark Ramirez as he checks into tonight's affair. That's the buzzer going into halftime, 21-12. Before we take the break, Zay comments on Del Valle's tough performance tonight that has shocked this arena and the entire city against a 6A team.
Yeah, Eastlake is 10-2 for a reason. They have loads of talent. They're a really, really good basketball team. They've had a couple of big wins this year, but right now they look flat. Del Valle is getting the best of them. They're out hustling them. They have more energy, and that's been the key right now. Defensively, Del Valle is all over the floor. It feels like Eastlake can't get a single open shot. Meanwhile, for Del Valle, they're just finding a way to get the ball in the basket on the offensive end, and it's working. They're up 21-12. If they can continue to grind this game out, they're going to win it.
We'll go into halftime. Zay Galindo, a.k.a. 3K, Sebastian Perez-Navarro. You're watching 600 ESPN El Paso's Fast Break Friday. We welcome you back to 600 ESPN El Paso's Fast Break Friday. A shocker at Conquest Arena. The Del Valle Conquistadores on top of the 6A institution, Eastlake Falcon. Galindo, Sebastian, Perez-Navarro alongside with you. Zay, on paper, Eastlake wins this matchup. They're taller. To prove that, they've out-rebounded Del Valle by 102 total rebounds. When it comes to blocks, it's Eastlake, who's 23 above the national average with 35 blocks, more than Del Valle's 18 blocks. Simultaneously, they've committed less errors, only 157 turnovers to Del Valle's 209 turnovers. Yet, it's the big bad blue on top of the silver and purple Falcons who is leading this game as we get set to start the second half. What has gone right for Del Valle to be able to penetrate the largely immovable object that is Eastlake when it comes to height?
Yeah, to put it simply, Del Valle is just out-hustling Eastlake, right? On the defensive end and on the offensive end. Eastlake just looked asleep for most of that half, and I don't know if you can credit that to being on the road in a tough environment. I don't know. Eastlake, they just couldn't keep up with Del Valle on either side of the floor.
And just like that, Andrew Serrano, number 3, gets us started with a 3.
What a beautiful set to come out of the half. You get Serrano an open look at the top of the key. You don't get a lot of those, and he lines it up perfectly.
Eastlake trying to get its first points of the half, unsuccessful, loses the handle. Oscar Ornelas on his way up to the rim. Now Tristan Anderson Edmond trying to calm it down. He's been the man to reset the offense when it comes to Eastlake. The problem is nothing has worked. Faces the double team. The step back fadeaway jumper is unsuccessful. Here comes Nunez on the fast break. Jaden Nunez up with the layup is good and goes to the ground.
A wonderful layup, a great finish from Nunez, and Eastlake just looks all out of sorts. Another turnover. Del Valle came out ready to play. They smell blood and they're pouncing on it.
Here come the Del Valle Conquistadores, and even if the big bad blue has committed more turnovers than Eastlake, when it comes to fouls, it has plagued the Falcons. 208 before tonight, and now Kobe Signs is going to go up to the free throw line for an and one.
I mean, Del Valle, they came out ready to play. They're on an 8-0 run right now, or they might be on, a 7-0 run, 8-0 now, and they're doing everything right. They're exploiting that sleepiness in Eastlake that hasn't gone away. It's gotten worse.
Signs has made 81% of his shots from the line. And now Eastlake's deficit is growing, but the time to cut it is dwindling. 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the semi-ultimate quarter.
Look at it. They're giving them the left. They're saying go left. And this is going to happen. They're going to lose the ball. It goes Eastlake's way, but I mean, Del Valle is just, they're being gritty. They're out hustling everybody. They want to win this game. They look inspired, and they're playing great basketball. Probably the best they played all season.
After the transition game, Eastlake has been horrid when it comes to transition basketball. When it comes to perimeter offense, they just haven't been able to move the ball, and when they do, they can't make their shots.
Yeah, that's correct.
For 3, Edmond trying to spark some sort of life in Eastlake. It doesn't work. Moving around the perimeter, Edmond stands at the top of the key, faces Brian May. Inside to Quigley, off the glass is good. Braden Quigley able to put some sort of life back for Eastlake.
Need more of that. I mean, they found so much more success getting to the basket, doing stuff like that, instead of settling for unneeded threes.
The traveling violation ruled against the Del Valle Conquistadores. It'll go in favor of the Eastlake Falcons, facing a large deficit with 5 minutes, 41 seconds to go. This team is 10-2. Away, they're 1-1. The only loss on the road came to Chapin, which, as we all know, is a formidable program in not just this city, but in the entire state. It's excusable, but can you place the same excuse if you lose tonight, especially by a margin in which they have on the scoreboard?
You really can't. I mean, Del Valle on paper, they haven't been amazing this year, and Eastlake is, the better team. They have the better wins. They have what felt like they had more talent, but right now, hard work is beating talent.
Moving inside, loose dribbles off the rim, put back, no good. Here comes the swarm of the big bad blue. Works out and blocking out the Falcon shot. May leading the charge on the fast break. Goes inside, passes back out to the corner. Great court vision for three. Off the wing, no good. Rebound Nunez. Nunez taps it on the board, but can't get it through the net.
It feels like almost every loose ball is going Del Valle's way right now. And that's the product of being better, but good transition both of them. They look more in rhythm now, right? They got punched in the face to start the half. They're slowly clawing their way back into this thing.
May gets it to Signs. Signs cannot get the ball off of his hands before going out of bounds. Yet what he will be called on is a push against the Eastlake Falcons. Del Valle set for the inbound. Nunez out to Signs. Signs passes top of the key. It is good. Serrano's got the hot hand, and for a man who came in third in his district with steals, he is proving something from past perimeter shooting.
How do you leave Serrano open? It's the same thing, right? They're lost defensively, and Valle is taking forward and hitting all their shots. They're playing incredibly right now.
The handles don't work for Eastlake. May on the fast break. He's got hot-handed Serrano, who gets his shot rejected.
I mean, that's a 3-on-1. Wonderful play right there from Anderson Edmond. He's able to send that one, all the way into almost the locker room. Great way to stand your ground, but it doesn't excuse the fact that, once again, Eastlake is getting out-rebounded down there. They're getting out-physical by Del Valle, and it's a sight to see. Del Valle is playing really, really good basketball right now.
Eastlake's finally able to get a block. It makes Edmonds fifth. But who's been quiet tonight from all aspects is Quigley. The 6'5" junior has 19 blocks. He's averaging 1.6 per game. Tonight he has none, as Edmond is able to draw the foul but cannot get the N1 opportunity.
They need more of that, Get downhill, get to the rim fast. Use your athleticism, that you have it for. They could be used for many different reasons. This is one of them. To get downhill and get to the basket, they're quicker, faster, and stronger than Del Valle, and they start playing like it.
Edmond is shooting 80% from the line. Now 20 for 26.
Yeah, now it's a person, really.
These stats are just being mentioned for context, eh? There's nothing against these players, I promise. Edmond getting set to shoot his second. And if Eastlake needs points on the board, it's now with 3 minutes and 33 seconds in the third quarter. Puts it up, it's good.
Del Valle has found the formula, to cracking this Eastlake defense. A lot of movement off the ball, and they're knocking down open shots. That's all you can ask for, right? You get that open look, knock it down.
Serrano decides to shoot his shot, airballs it.
Not a bad shot at all. I'll say that. When you have a hot hand like that, you've made a couple straight. Eastlake is sleeping. In that pick and roll defense, they're switching and their bigs are sleeping. No hands up, no nothing. Take that shot 10 times out of 10. Like Chris Smooth says, if your hand's down, your man's down.
Ball on the ground being fought for. Nunez gets it on the ground. It'll go in favor of Del Valle, and rightly so. The great effort made by Josiah Nunez, who, don't forget, was almost ruled out earlier on tonight.
That's what we're talking about, right? It's that fight, that grit that Del Valle has, diving on the ground. In any other game, right, for Eastlake, that's probably an easy rebound for the Falcons. No, Del Valle is making everything hard for them. They're making them work for every inch and every, anything.
The bad news is Nunez did not come up with the ball for Del Valle as they wished. Instead, Eastlake gets it back, but they're still down big now with under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Quigley has it, nice moves. He just pulls up from the elbow. It is no good. Edmund can't get the rebound. Del Valle is coming back with it.
Everything feels forced for Eastlake offensively. They just aren't running fluid, smooth offense, and Del Valle is making it really, really difficult to do that.
Fuller, there's the Utah commit. Zay, incredible shot.
I mean, for a guy who's only played one game of basketball, that was such a polished move and such a polished finish. Great play from Fuller.
Say a reminder, one game of basketball before tonight, at least in the past 4 years. No freshman experience, no JV experience. He just showed up and is balling.
He is balling. That was a really, really good move in the low post and good finish.
The bounce pass inside, looking around the perimeter. Eastlake's deficit, trying to cut it with an Edmund three, and it's good from downtown.
Yeah, one of them were bound to hit. You know, they finally got the three. Let's see if that sparks the light in them, right? That gets the floodgates to open, because it feels like there's been a cap on that rim all night for them.
Edmund is making 26% of his threes. That's its 11th tonight. Manny Fuller, for the first time all night, experiences some sort of rejection by Quigley. However, Nunez is back with the putback shot off the glass.
Look at the highs from Fuller, right? He's able to spot the man wide open under the basket. Eastlake, once again, sleeping defensively. Who's his man?
Edmund coming back, 16-point deficit, draws the foul. Does not draw the and one, especially when they really need it. But Eastlake's been able to get back to the line a little bit in this quarter.
Yeah, he has, and he needs to keep doing that. He needs to keep doing that, getting to the basket. He's telling everybody, relax. He's got this. He has that talent. He's a really, really polished guy for a sophomore. I mean, this guy has good body control, good everything. He looks like a really, really good basketball player. Only a sophomore. I can't stop raving about this guy. I mean, I really don't have anything bad to say about him. He runs this Eastlake offense to a T. Great player. Name to watch out for in the next couple of years.
He's averaging 14.3 points per game. He has 55 total rebounds, 21 of those offensively, 34 of those defensively. He's been good on assists with 28 so far. The free throw is up and good. If there's any team that had the momentum coming into tonight, it was the Falcons. A good win against Parkland on December 10th, 54-47, simultaneously in tournament play, in which both of these teams played the weekend of December 5th through December 7th. Del Valle came out with a winning record, 3-2 by slim margin. Eastlake, on the other hand, went 4-1. The only game that they lost, once against Pebble Hills. But maybe a distinction you can make is the difference between Del Valle's 17 played games and Eastlake's 12.
Yeah, Del Valle looks a little bit more battle-tested. You could see that here, right? Eastlake haven't faced a lot of adversity. They only lost 2 games, right? And only one of those is by single digits. And, they haven't faced a lot of adversity. The set right there. But Eastlake needs to respond better to adversity.
Under a minute to go. Edmund has it, being covered by May. And they are on the verge of their 3rd loss of the season if they can't turn it around. But there's under 40 seconds to go. Shoots the 3, no good. Rebound made. Del Valle to the dismiss of Eastlake. Angel Rivas gets some action in his 47th rebound of the year.
They're outplaying Del Valle. They're outplaying Eastlake, but offensive foul right there. Can't stick out the hip on the screen.
A legal screen. Maybe Del Valle gets a little too carried away. With 26 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, Zay, now you got to stop being careful about how physical you want to play if you're Coach Churchill.
Yeah, you do. And for Eastlake, it's time to throw the house, right? You can't lose this game. You got to give it everything you got. You're going to call a timeout. Draw something up. 19 seconds left. It's a good timeout. But we'll see what happens here, right? We'll see what type of fire Coach Taylor ignites in his team, because he's going to need it. They're going to need it.
Eastlake takes the time out. A time to ponder how a comeback can be made with under 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. What's shocking and what stands out is Del Valle's defensive lag, you can call it, coming into tonight. a negative 19-point differential for the Conquistadores. They've made 870. They've given up 889. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, plus 158. But so far, both defenses have looked like they've hit the opposite button.
Eastlake's just a step behind again. That's what it feels like. They're a step behind. They're not getting to the rim. That's like a gold mine waiting to be, mined. They need more aggressiveness offensively.
Lattice takes it. Mendez at the top, but having to work against the hot-handed Serrano. Pump fake. Here comes the double team. Trying to get his shot off, but it is blocked by Del Valle and Angel Rivas on the ground. 0 seconds remaining. That shot attempt won't count. 38-22. End of the third quarter. Del Valle looking to get to double-digit wins. Eastlake's on the verge of losing their third. We'll be back on Fast Break Friday. You're watching 600 ESPN El Paso. We welcome you back to 600 ESPN El Paso's Fast Break Friday. Out of the locker room, it was questioned whether or not Eastlake would need to change something when coming back into the third quarter. Shot creations weren't being banked on. The pick and roll was awful. Translation in drives, horrid. Zay, none of that changed.
Yeah, they need, I don't know what they need at this point. They need to light up something, right? They need absolute all hands on deck. Every intensity, every ounce of energy you got left, put it through there right now. Get to the rim, get the baskets, and put some stops together.
Kobe Signs had it for a second. Nunez to May. May awaits at the wing. Josiah Nunez making himself available, but he tosses it to Jaden. Jaden creating some space. Back to Signs. Del Valle just playing the perimeter offensive game, looking for someone open, but good patience. Signs with it. Back out to Nunez. Nunez kicks it out to May. Couldn't get it done. But it's Serrano with the possession. But the perimeter offensive stalling couldn't last that long.
Yeah, Eastlake, a good turnover force right there, but you see how much time came off the clock. It's almost 45 seconds. If Del Valle can do that this whole fourth quarter, it's almost mathematically impossible for Eastlake to come back. So it's just tough without a shot clock to make up this much of a deficit.
Quigley able to get it off the backboard and good. If there's anyone that could have had a dominant performance tonight, it could have been Quigley.
Yeah, give him the ball, right? Beat the guy. And a turnover.
Eastlake on the fast break, going inside, layup, no good. Edmond with it, gets the rebound, but Eastlake loses a bit of momentum off the fast break because of the solid defense provided in the paint by Nunez. Edmond waiting. The only problem is when you're down by 14, you can't really stall. Corner three, no good. Is Eastlake just playing out of desperation at this point by taking those hard shot selections like the one we just saw?
That was a bad shot. If you're going to take a mid-range jumper from there, contested, might as well just take the three at that point. It was a bad shot, not the shot you want to take. Look, 2 points is better than no points, and to force up a shot like that when you're already down by this much, it just can't happen.
That's all red on 2K.
It sure is.
Signs with it. Screen set by Nunez as he gets pushed out of bounds.
All around, we got to give props to Del Valle, right? Regardless of the all of their lineup combinations, everything. They've all come up with the same juice, offensively and defensively. It's that fight. Coach Churchill has such an amazing game today.
May with it. Both of these teams were playoff teams last year. Del Valle inching out Eastlake. They were third in their district. Meanwhile, on the end of 6A, the Falcons were fourth. Driving inside, no good. There's the sibling tandem with the layup to get to 40.
Eastlake's just sleeping, man. They're sleeping.
Coming back with it. Quigley able to notch it in for some quick points on part of the Falcons.
You see how easy that is? Cut to the basket, use your physicality and athleticism, and they got an easy bucket.
Here's the problem. The defense is pretty much sleeping because able to bank it off the rim. An open shot made inside the free throw line for Nunez. Couldn't make it. Timeout called. 5 minutes, 22 seconds remain in the fourth and final quarter. Both of these teams experienced the first round exit last season, but it was the Falcons who were able to get some sweet revenge. As for the past 2 years, both of the first round exits for the Conquistadores have been against Andres. Meanwhile, the Falcons lost to Friendship, but they won this year's rematch 54-51. The Falcons are a team that can contest in and out of El Paso. It doesn't matter. They proved it with the rematch. However, tonight, are we seeing an Eastlake team that maybe is just tired, needs some time to rest, and hasn't gotten it after all? They played 5 tournament games, a game against Parkland, and now having to travel inside Del Valle.
Yeah, games like this are tough. It's always going to be 5A, 6A. Del Valle is always going to carry the chip on their shoulder. They're at home. They don't want to lose. But at the same time, Eastlake needs a hard reset. They need a reset. The sky's not falling if you lose this game. You know how good you can play. You just need to find a way to get back to that.
Del Valle almost misses on the inbound. Nunez able to take control of it. Signs back to Jaden Nunez. Being covered, tosses it out to his brother on the wing. Moving inside, tosses it back out to Serrano. Serrano to Signs. Signs, bad dribbles, results on the ball going back to the hardwood, and a turnover against the Conquistadores. Incoming is Derek Mendez, the senior, working against Serrano. Number 3 in steals. Be careful with that matchup as the whistle blows.
Yeah, you see Eastlake diving for the ball over there. You need more of that. You need more of that. All game, and we still have 5 minutes. Put together some stops, put together some buckets, and you're right back in this game.
You need 12 points. If you want to ask how to score double-digit points in crunch time, ask the Rockets. Meanwhile, Edmond tries to go inside. His shot is no good. Bounce pass to Signs, and it works from Serrano. Gets the ball right back. Open lane. Bounce pass. Easy for Jaden. No! Rejected by Quigley, who has come alive in this second half.
That's a really good defensive play.
Tosses it, and that is just not enough power on the shot by the means of Mendez. The foul, and the ball goes back to the Conquistadores. Nunez with it, having to go against Mendez. Passes it back out to Serrano. Inside to Josiah Nunez. The dunk attempt by Fuller. No good. Looking for the foul. Gets none. Mendez comes back on the fast break. Gets hit in the face by Nunez. Doesn't matter. Able to kick it out to Lattice. Misses the 3. Fuller cools it with the rebound.
Del Valle can take their time. They're getting open shots, but sometimes you got to use some peace of mind. Relax.
Fuller off the glass, it's good.
Unless you're going to get the bucket.
You know who also played one game in this season? It was Jake Fetty. His game also resulted in a loss. Maybe Fuller's given the tap on his quarterback to come back and play one more round of basketball. Nonetheless, Eastlake drives in and one for Jacob Delgado.
Hey, I'll say this. Jake Fetty was a freshman on varsity his freshman year. You know, he's part of that team of dominant black and he's amazing though, like he's probably the best they've had in years. And he's a hooper. So if you have Jake Fetty in this equation, we're talking about the Valle team that could be contending for this season.
Put up 11 points and 4 rebounds in his game against Canyon. They played that December 5th. Meanwhile, Delgado's shot goes all for naught. He's made 70% of his free throws before tonight, going 7 for 10. Misses his most recent attempt.
Keep grinding this game out with Valle, right? Keep taking your time. Take seconds off that game. You're going to be flustered by Eastlake. You're going to want to force turnovers. You need your best ball handlers guys who can distribute the ball. And if you put up a bad shot, oh so well, right? You take off 40 seconds off the clock. It's almost impossible for Eastlake to put together a comeback. With 3:30, if you're taking that much time to seize possession.
3 minutes, 31 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. We take a timeout. You're watching 600 ESPN El Paso. We welcome you back to Fast Break Friday. Welcomed in by the sound of the buzzer. 3 minutes, 31 seconds remain. Galindo, I'm Sebastian Perez-Navarro. Time is winding down for the Eastlake Falcons to try to come back and avoid a third loss on their season for Del Valle. It's all about reaching the glorious 10-win marker, but Lattis has something to say about that. Can't get the points off the steal. Nonetheless, able to help him out are the rest of the Eastlake Falcons. Serrano, trouble with it. Here comes the chaos. Shot is blocked. No good. However, it'll go Falcon ball. Delgado tried to put it back up. Unsuccessful. Nonetheless, Eastlake isn't dying yet.
Yeah, you know, good hustle. Good hustle right there from Del Valle. But Eastlake ramping up that pressure. Their defensive pressure, that's what you need to see. That's that urgency. You can feel that tension on that Eastlake sideline. They need to force more turnovers like that. That's 2 turnovers. They have the layup right there. They have the ball. They down talk 3 minutes. Easy way to ease your way back in. Get a couple stops, first 4 turnovers, and of course the big one. Get a couple points.
Jaden Nunez will walk back to the bench. It'll be surprising to see him come back into tonight's game. Fuller just rejects that shot, gets it to Serrano off of the hands of May. But now the double coverage comes from Eastlake. It's desperation time, and the cameraman is run into, yet Tristan Anderson, Edmond, checks up on him.
Yeah, you know, first off, love to see that. The cameraman getting ready to taking on, but the big thing here is Eastlake giving the live coverage across the floor.
3 minutes remain. Even though Del Valle seemed that they couldn't move the ball, Serrano had something to say about that, extending the Big Bad Blues lead. Puts up the shot, no good! And this just quickly turned into MMA.
Yeah, that's another back right there. That's another back. Hey, it's good hustle, you know, I guess.
It quite literally is. Trying to get the rebound, flying over Del Valle, who was just trying to get the defensive rebound. Eastlake desperate to put up points. 2 minutes, 51 seconds to go. Down by 14 in the fourth quarter. Instead, desperation play is turning into a barrel of mistakes.
Yeah, left. That time's gonna tick, 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 tick. You know, and once you get down to 2 minutes, it almost comes. It's almost a little too tough. You know. So Eastlake's gonna need to continue ramping up that pressure in the backcourt. They're sending everything they got. So if Del Valle gets past that timeline, chances are they might have an open layup.
May will go ahead and take the free throws. He was on the back end of what seemed to be a behind the back body launch. Misses the first one off the rim. So far this year for May, he's made 59% of his shots from the line, misses his most recent one. If there's someone that has the capacity to will this Del Valle strong roster deep in the playoffs, it's May. He stands number 1 in his district for steals per game, second in field goals made with 67 before tonight, second in rebounds per game with 6.4. And once again, we spoke on the double-doubles, number 15 in Region 1, which means, hey, Coach Churchill, if your team travels to California, or really anywhere with an in and out, maybe consider getting a double-double for the double-double man.
Yeah, and turnover right there from Eastlake. That just get it right back though.
Corner for 3, airball, no good. Quickly with the rebound, it's in quickly. Able to cut the deficit to 12. A short timeout taken. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Del Valle just trying to get away with it, but Eastlake is scrapping and clawing in order to get back into this lead. It might be too late, but Zay, you said earlier on that Eastlake hasn't faced enough adversity. Is it moments like these, losses like these, that help propel that strong momentum mindset with your group?
You know, yeah, games like these, they're learning moments, right? If Eastlake does indeed end up losing it, it's something to look back on, to take it all in, know how it feels, and move on. They just don't look good. They just don't look good. They're not playing that same, type of basketball that we saw them playing earlier in the year when they beat Friendship, right? When they were going toe-to-toe with some of the best in the series. So.
2 minutes, 30 seconds remain. Del Valle will inbound. Nunez to May. May gets it back, avoids the double team, and gets the ball off of the block. Eastlake has turned up the aggression to 100, but you wonder where this was 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, you really do, right? It's missed opportunities. Eastlake was just asleep for most of this game, and you know that the talent for that team is there, right? You see it in glimpses. They had a bad shooting night to go with that, but when it comes to that, you need to be able to face adversity in the face and get over it.
Now the mistakes just start ramping up for the Eastlake Falcons. Meanwhile, Josiah Nunez heads to the line to shoot free throws. He's made 79% of those before entering tonight. So far, 28 points, averaging 7 per game in this season. Has only played 4 games. Tonight, it seemed as though he would struggle with an injury when coming back from what looked to be an altercation which hurt him in the ankle. At least from what he was grasping on the bench, he was able to come back and finish this game. Not only that, still playing when the game is largely put away.
Yeah, 2:20 left. I feel like these teams have infinite timeouts at this point, but that play right there, it's kind of just how this game has gone for the Falcons. They give up an offensive rebound off a missed free throw. That can't happen, right? You outnumber them 4-2, and you still give up that offensive board, and then you're unable to come up with a turnover off the loose ball. All around, Eastlake just need to take a hard look at themselves in the mirror, hit the reset button, and get ready for district play.
Revenge can maybe be a little bit of why Del Valle played so hard tonight. After all, the last time these two teams faced each other was in January 31st of 2020. That was an Eastlake victory by 20. Other than that, 1 month prior, here inside of Del Valle, they also lost. That loss was by 12 points. But the main factor to take into consideration has to be the culture change in which Churchill has instilled in this program, that you just have to put your head down and grind. And tonight might not have been the prettiest game, but Del Valle won the battle of grit.
Yeah, they sure did. Right there, the more gritty team, they were the tougher team. And usually the tougher team wins.
Signs. Double team, gets it to Serrano, back to May. May, top of the key. Eastlake is just bringing all the aggression with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left. There's your boy Fuller, who cannot get the shot up. Had multiple opportunities, unsuccessful. Serrano in the corner, decides not to take it, pumps it. Del Valle just playing the passing game, trying to wind down as much clock as they can. After all, no shot clock to worry about.
That whole possession, that's infuriating to watch if you're Coach Taylor. You're able to get a shot up, they miss it for Del Valle, and you just don't get another rebound. It's that, once again, Del Valle is just out hustling you in every sense of the word. They're getting to the ball faster. They're getting every loose ball. They're doing everything right. Meanwhile, Eastlake is finding things to do wrong.
May misses the free throw. Del Valle will more than likely move to an undefeated record in home play by defeating the Eastlake Falcons. There's still 1 minute and 50 seconds left so far tonight, but more than likely, Del Valle can stamp this as a win in their history books and move on to 4-0 when playing at home. Meanwhile, Eastlake faces the potential of having a sub-500 record when it comes to away games. The foul out of bounds by Edmond, and Del Valle will inbound. With district play right on the horizon, say, what does this tell the rest of 5A in terms of what the Conquistadores can bring?
You know, for me, when I'm looking at this Del Valle team, this move, what this does and what this shows to everybody is the Conquistadores have an unbeatable culture. One, what Coach Churchill has instilled in this program as a whole is toughness, grittiness, and year after year, no matter who is on their team, they're going to make you work for every point, they're going to make you work for every win, and are always in that conversation to be, district champion in 2-5A.
A large thump heard by May's free throw. It's no good. 1 minute 39 seconds remain. Meanwhile, for Eastlake, have an excellent record. You're going to move on to 10-3. The only problem is now people look at your schedule and say, wait a second. You're not winning as many games as you should on the road. You're not beating opponents, which, yeah, they're in your city, but nonetheless, they're a classification under you that you should largely beat. Edmond with the handles, banks in the three. We're not done yet. A little under 1 minute 30 seconds to play. Eastlake able to cut the deficit ever so slightly. There was a highlight to tonight, that being Tristan Anderson Edmond. He's made 26% of his threes coming into tonight, 54% of field goals overall. But for a 6'2" shooting guard, or really all-around player, there's only 4 blocks. Eastlake has been solid in the blocking game. We went over the stats there. But was Edmond's performance hurt tonight by the matter of Braden Quigley, the junior forward guard, small forward, again, one of those do-it-all guys, 6'5", 180 pounds, being relatively quiet?
Yeah, for a guy with that stature and his type of body, especially in El Paso, you got to use it. You got to use it to your advantage. He needs to find ways to get him the ball, and not only to put the ball in the basket, right? Make the most of your opportunities, and hopefully down district play becomes more of a force to be reckoned with. But for Eastlake, the schedule doesn't get any easier. You're going to start playing against competition, 6A guys. Pebble Hills you already lost to. Eastwood is an amazing team. Coronado, 2 teams. So that playoff spot, after a performance like this, it's in jeopardy, right? At the start of the year, you want to say, oh, Eastlake, it can definitely get one of those 4 playoff spots in 6A, but right now, after losing to Del Valle and the way that they did it, that's at risk.
Here comes a double team. Signs avoids it. Nice dribble moves. They're not going to stop trying to cover Signs, who gets it to Serrano. Grit by Signs, however, the traveling violation ruled on the Conquistadores. Kobe Signs has been amazing. The senior point guard, you look at who he's being guarded against, but tonight in the face of adversity has been great beyond the perimeter and also inside of the paint. Kicks it out for three. Lattice is no good. It rolls over. Fuller with the rebound. The triple team still kicks it out to Serrano. No one left guarding him, but the foul on the steal.
Yeah, you know, it feels like this past 3 minutes, if you're Del Valle, it's taking way too long. You know, it's a time ticking. It feels like when you're up in a game that you're not supposed to be up in, that time ticks slower, you know? So a minute left, Del Valle kind of has control of this game. They do have control of this game, excuse me, but you know, it just looks impossible at this point for Eastlake to come back and win.
It's a testament to the mentality in which Taylor has. That is, you play until the final buzzer. And whilst we're nearing it ever so slightly, Del Valle is left with 2 timeouts so far. Eastlake is left with none. You need to have that mindset that you're going to go all the way and give it everything you have until the end. Largely where Eastlake missed today was not coming in with this energy to begin. That's where Del Valle succeeded. Edmond trying to drive inside. That ball thrown out of bounds will remain in favor of the Falcons. But for Del Valle, it's just about ticking down that clock.
Tick, 53 seconds left. You know, the Conquistadores, big bad blue. They can smell a win, they can smell an upset.
53.6 seconds remain. The lob to Quigley is stolen by Nunez. There's the hashtag spoiler alert. Tries to pass it to Serrano. No good. Able to get a fingertip on it is Mendez. Nonetheless, Signs comes back with it and being tugged by the jersey. Another foul on part made by the Eastlake Falcons. Jacob Delgado, the sophomore, commits the error.
Yeah, you know, it's at this point, it's kind of intentional. You know, it's a foul. You're going to be aggressive. You're going to stop the clock. You're going to put, you know, Del Valle at the line, which they haven't had much success with today anyways. But at this point, it's too little too late from Eastlake. Too little too late. Manny Fuller's, you know, all the way down 90 feet away from the basket, clapping. He smells the win. He knows they're about to win. Huge upset from the Conquistadores to do it at home, do it before district play. Del Valle will be a force to be reckoned with in 2-5-8.
Signs takes the shot and banks it in. Del Valle is able to reach 50 while holding Eastlake under 40. 35 seconds remain. Edmond down to the basket is good. Great layup and fast break made by the Falcons in Edmond. Not wanting to call it quits until they literally have to force him off the court. Del Valle has had their patches of rough games, most notably when they competed at their 3-day tournament, losing to VR Eden 64-28. It was Manny Fuller's only game he participated in basketball for Del Valle all season long and his career long, and it was a tough loss. But Zay, we've talked about those tough losses shaping you. Is this Eastlake's VR Eden?
No, I don't think so. VR Eden, one of the best programs in the state of Texas, but this is it comes close to it, right? I mean, I think the Chapin loss for Eastlake will be VR Eden. For this, I really can't compare a loss like this. They're just going to need to reset, like I said, be better, because they know that they have the talent. We know they have the talent. They have 3 really good guards, and they just haven't played like it.
There's a great pattern, great passing, and the 3 banked in by Eastlake cuts it to 10. Just like that, don't blink now. Edmond has made 2 back-to-back threes, but that extra strength effort made by Jacob Delgado inside the paint to basically pass the ball on the back of his back, it shows the potential you were talking about, but just too late. That's what either frustrates you or maybe motivates you going forward.
Yeah, only 8 seconds left, so yeah, way too late. But the thing that motivates me is I hope Eastlake realizes that Tristan Anderson Edmond is in the upper echelon of players in El Paso. He's probably the best sophomore in El Paso. He has such a good feel for the game. He's smooth operating, right? He reminds you a lot of Paul George when you watch a guy like him play. He's able to distribute the ball, run the offense, but I want to see him take more of a load when it comes to the scoring. He's a really good scorer. We saw it there. He can shoot the deep ball. He can get to the rim with ease. He has wonderful athleticism. Give him the ball, give him the rock, and let him go to work. Same thing goes with Derek Mendez, right? He is a senior. He's a senior guard, and he was just quiet this game, way too quiet this game. So overall, a lot to learn from Eastlake. You just want to see them take control of games, be more aggressive, and hopefully they figure out what went wrong today.
Del Valle is ready to put a bow tie on a spectacular win against a 6A institution. 8 seconds remain. They get it to Signs. Signs is fouled. Double team coverage. Zay, who's the biggest threat that's looming for Del Valle as we reach the eve of district play?
The biggest threat in that district is, well, there's a couple, right? Medica's dropping down to 5A. They're always going to be a good program. But I feel like that favorite in that district is, without a doubt, Eastlake. Isaiah Thompson he's underrated. He's averaging nearly 30 points a game, and he gets discredited, because you're on the reservation, not that big of a basketball culture there, but this guy is one of the best players in El Paso. He might be the best player in El Paso. That's a tough comparison. Of course, Jalen Leverett, he might take that. But Isaiah Thompson, probably the best scorer. He is a wonderful player to watch. Del Valle will have their hands full trying to guard a guy like that.
Eastlake, the dribbles by Edmond, and the last second shot, no good by Derek Mendez. Del Valle is going to go in as a happy flock of the big bad blue as they reach the last week of non-district play. We thank you for joining us on 600 ESPN El Paso. To the name of Galindo and Sebastian Perez-Navarro, we thank you for joining us on Fastbreak Friday. We're over and out.